when I start to think about what might help me in a situation where I'm just not able to come up with the energies I want, with the motivation I think I could come up, because I certainly want to pursue something and I got this in mind and it's not fading off, but the moment, the feeling, the whole situational uh, constitution of things is so harsh all of a sudden that it's like almost I forget about what journey I'm on and what I try to get from it and what I try to achieve and what this whole thing is for. So after some investigation on myself, on life, I stumbled upon a new kind of topic I wasn't wondering too much the last few weeks, months, also years. And the thing I'm talking about is the order I come up with at home. It's not that I'm super messy, and I'm certainly also got my things on its right place, but I also got a mindset, or had it until I realized that thing today, when that whenever I see some or have to go after things that might cost time, that might cost nerves, that might not really bring me something and like let me get after what is so important at the moment, then I tended to like just pass it off or find a shortcut where I don't have to worry about it no more in this situation. And I thought I would be great off doing that, just letting some stuff behind or not taking too much care if the there are few things on my table laying around. Because when I'm coming home, I just thought that I would have to get right back into what I need to do or what is important for myself. And this is the task. And this is, yeah, the thing I have to aim myself towards, to get this very big part of my life to life. And when I'm not doing that right away, I thought I'd be wasting time with some unnecessary stuff that's just taking over myself in such a passive way that I'll rather just not worry about it too much, because yeah, it's not making any more, yeah, trash or something. It's just one thing, no matter what it is. It can be a piece of paper, it can be uh, like a pen or whatever you come home with, and yeah, it has to land somewhere. It is a decision you gotta make, and some of these decisions are, they seem so obsolete for me that I'd rather not make them at all. And I started to recognize that not making any decision is also one. Because when I'm not making the decision of saying, okay, I'm taking this, I don't need it, I can throw it away, or I can give it to someone else, then what shall I do with it then? Do I have the space for it? Or do I don't have it yet? And when standing in front of that decision, actively going after that, I think a systematical approach can help once again. Because when I know where are certain things and when they got their dedicated space and they can also only stack up unto a specific amount, because when that amount is exceeding, I won't have any space for more no more. So knowing where some of the stuff can go in a limited space can make the decisions easier, as yeah, I can put that stuff there, and when it's when it's getting loaded and it's the for example the box is full, then I don't then I just know that I piled up too much things that are unnecessary, so I gotta sort them out, or just take my hand in it and look at the things and see, okay, I don't need that stuff, why am I even keeping it, and throw it away or give it away. So, but not doing this, what it has shown me, when I'm not going after that decision and I'm just skipping it, what happens is I'm taking things with myself that I could also just leave behind, that I could also just already moved ahead of when making the decision, when saying to myself, okay, yeah, I don't need that stuff anyway, it can stay in front of the door, and there are other stuff, I'll take it out, and yeah, then it will be gone. But stacking it on some sort of place has the downside to it that something passively, seemingly unknowingly, is happening in myself, because I might not recognize it. I'm always the only one entering my home. When I get in there, nobody's there to tell me anything. Nobody's there to just like give me a sensation of how things could look. I don't see it in someone else's eyes, in someone else's face, how they are perceiving that kind of situation now. So when I'm okay with it, because it got normalized throughout the last time or whatever, then I just stopped worrying about certain things. Even though I might know that I want to live in a more in a minimalistic way, as I'm not like attached to some things. And as you just heard, making decisions is time consuming, and I don't want to lose time on stuff that's unnecessary. So having less things is a great and big part of that. But not making the decisions and not feeling something happening in yourself that you just didn't make any, and all of a sudden have to live with what you've done, and things pile up, certainly comes with its effects as well. Because when I'm down at another time, we are just talking about the things where I'm starting to recognize, or where I could maybe take advantage of not being in such a situation, is whenever I'm down and I'm not feeling like I'm able to go after the things I would love to, or have the perspective and the drive to get it done, I cannot like use my backup from the things I've already accomplished, because what I'm seeing in front of me is a reflection of what is happening in myself. And that's what I underestimated big time. Because when I'm living like that, when things pile up, when things are not getting the attention they would need, because I'm actively not going after the decision whether I should keep it or store it or bring it away, then what happens is it's getting thrown back at me whenever I'm not at the point where I thought I could be at the moment. And the backup is not showing in it's not showing up, and all of the things I've already accomplished having are also not having any like, yeah, they're not worth anything for me in that situation, because yeah, I I don't have anything good to see as well. Because when I look at it, when I see my table on which I'm not sitting because I mostly just sit at my desk, then looking at the table could also signal me that there are some things I put on there 2 weeks ago and it's still at the same position. I haven't moved it. So it could also like say something to me. But it isn't when there's no resonance coming up in myself in these situations. So I gotta then take the feeling of just being almost polluted by all these things around me. And when I'm feeling good, yeah, okay, I'm going after my work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm coming home, have other stuff in mind, got a drive, know where to go, pursuing what I love or what I feel like is is worth it now. Yeah, then even in that situation it doesn't show up as much. So this comes with downsides in either case. It doesn't matter if I'm feeling good or bad, because these things should just be away. Let's, yeah, we can say this. There's no way to start getting messy only because you want to like get off these, yeah, decisions you have to make because you think that's going to take you time. That doesn't make too much sense, because that time should be worth it, because that is actually something, yeah, it's representing who you are. Because when I stop trying to, yeah, maintain a life around me at home that's actually mirroring who I am, and it's going in a direction where I, when zooming out, don't even want to see, then why should I even surround myself in such an environment? I I would not feel good about that when I'm actively thinking about it. But this active thought is the hard part, to come up with that. So I had to take some response for myself from the outside today. And these inputs came from my dad as I was talking with him. And there I got to see that's, that it's such a power to just open yourself on things that you have some certain connection to, but are not actually sure what the main reason for this might be. Because I didn't get to him and started talking about why, or that I think that the reason why I don't feel good is because it's some sort of a mess at home. I came the with almost like a conclusion that I felt bad the last few days because I've been, yeah, taking myself out of certain like times with people, or just having a good time with others, because I wasn't able to have these people around. And in that sort of situation, we somehow got to the point of this. And so I was able to recognize something that wasn't clear before, that hasn't been at the surface level. So I see something resembling in that. And that is that when we start to not actively think about something which might be the case, which might be the reason for something, which might be the background for a certain thing that's coming up, we may get more answers by just not actively getting around it or wrapping our heads around it. And it's starting to get closer. The actual thing, or the actual like truth behind this whole struggle we were facing, somehow unfolds itself through just being. But it's not that we shall run away from what we think, or that we shall not re-question the background of some uncertainties we have. I just think that we should also have moments where we can be the unknown, or that, or where we can just stay true to what we don't know, or just take it as it is, just taking things as something that we are not knowing yet, that we haven't come across yet. It's like a certain degree of exposure we're giving ourselves that makes us vulnerable, but also lets us grasp reality in its purest form more closely. And being able to do that just by taking the control of whatever sort of thing you might know out of your own hands and giving it to life and to its openness of answers it might be giving to you, might bring the biggest answers then. Because, yeah, I could stay stuck at some sort of thought processes I'm having. Because, yeah, I might think that this is the truth. I might have told myself many times that I'm convinced that this is like I'm thinking. When in reality, this can also just be the complete opposite. So, why shall we then always try to understand it when it's coming from this uncertainty? But this uncertainty can only be tackled by some sort of external change that's impacting and getting from out there into us. So when we only staying in our own bubble without ever going out of it or getting closer to something that is giving us new input, then the limitation of what can be solved, or the amount of how much can get closer to us through this personal exposure we are giving life, will be, yeah, quite quite a quite a quite diminished. So whenever I'm getting stuck or think that that one thing is the reason now, I'll just start to do something else, to tell myself that this might not be the case. And it also has to be looked at with some sort of danger, because always having this kind of approach where you think you are not there yet, you are not at the end of that conclusion or the actual clarity behind something, can also be quite a curse. Because when I would never say, okay, this is the case now, and I'm clear about that, the uncertainty can also take over you, and this should not be the case. There has to the certain degrees there's a certain degree of exposure we have to preserve, but when once this gets like too big, we can also get drowned in it. So being clear about how far we can take it, telling ourselves that we might not be at the end of our questioning, has to be looked at with a keener eye. Because too little is not good, and too much is not good as either. So I think having an overall diversity is crucial, because new sensations can only be made by showing ourselves that we can come up with the agility to get somewhere else, to do something else, to get a new perspective from out there. And when we not try to find something, when we not try to get a glimpse of the actual background bad enough, we might just stay stuck in the thought process of something seemingly which might also not be the case at all. And these sensations from out there don't have to be your help, or you don't have to see it as something that's your entry to a new kind of solution. It's only about inspiration. It's only about seeing something that might be of value, which might help you, and no matter where it's coming from, or from whom it's coming at you, you can take it as something valuable, or you can just forget about it when it's not something that you feel like being something that resembles anything that's of good help for you. So yeah, I gotta take the order of things as something that's of higher priority, and I'll also try to come up with a system to keep or leave stuff behind I may not need, because we don't need so much. We can leave so many things behind, and the next day we wouldn't even think about it anyway no more. So many things I forgot about are still at some sort of place which could be gone for an eternity, but yet still they are there because we might need them. We might want them. But if it's only might, don't think it's worth it. When there's no actual situation where that you can think of in the coming times, I don't think we need it. And we don't have to get too hard on these things. And yeah, everybody gotta know it's for themselves, but it's just me that I think that I can distance myself from many things and certainly be happier and ha- preserve more clarity. And also, the biggest factor of all this, I think I could also preserve so much more appreciation about what I've already accomplished or how big of a difference from previous life stages I've made and how much I've got to acknowledge and how much clarity I got to like find within all my living. So yeah, I'll try to hold on to this more often by just seeing what I am and who I am. Because I can't see the success or the things I've done yet, but because we always measure the success in such rates that are just so unhelpful for us in early stages of success, which is still big success we can appreciate. We've come to this point from another stage where we haven't seen anything clear in regard to that. So we can see this as success. We can appreciate this thing. We can be happy about that. But we don't see these things when we are just encapsulated in life and how it's been playing. So reminding ourselves who we are and where we are is a thing that can be. I'm starting again. Reminding ourselves of who we are, I think, can be caught up closer when we actually show ourselves who we are by capturing the way of how we live with our own eyes. When we do that, we can we can feel safe about ourselves. Because when I know there's a certain amount of order with these things and structurization and just an just a look with which I'm happy to see, then yeah, I think I can hold on to some positive moments or retrieve energies that can help me get myself up again easier in comparison to when I would have some sort of a mess. So, yeah, we can see when we want to, but that doesn't mean we live it yet. So, actually doing the steps of living it are the ones that determine how far we've come. And I want to come further. I want to get further because this is only the beginning of a journey that can be written and will written by myself, and I can look back at it whenever and can feel good about it, about the things I've done, about the realizations I've made, but more importantly, about the implementations I was able to do. That's the thing I want to tell myself. I want to keep close, and I'll do everything it needs to get this, to be able to tell myself. So yeah, I think we can let it sink in with that, and start to move ahead, start to implement, start to take what we've been able to recognize as something that we are now living. So thank you for coming back at this, and yeah, I wish you best of luck on your journey, and see you very soon, I'd say.